What you have before you tonight is the next step in our preparation for presentation to City Council of a package for proposed public safety and infrastructure to be financed through a general obligation bond. As you recall, during our strategic planning process, which amazingly enough tonight you'll get an update as to where we are with those processes. But one of the things the council wanted to look at were addressing major challenge areas, some of which included the police station, fire apparatus, street condition, park development, and downtown infrastructure, to name a few. So those were both internal and external issues. So during the budget process, we proposed that several things should occur. One was to seek out information as to addressing those MCAs, and additionally how we could pay for those. As we went through the budget process, we threw out some numbers that would give us a leg up to start addressing those issues, construct a new police station, purchase new fire apparatus, so on and so forth. The preliminary number was in the $10 million range. And so that is what staff has been working on. Since that time, we have, as I've reported in the past, we have formed technical advisory committees for each of those elements of proposed infrastructure and emergency services. We have also put together a finance technical advisory committee and a public outreach and information technical advisory committee, all of whom are working diligently to try and get a proposal to City Council for City Council consideration. Should be wrapping up a lot of it in December, and then in January we will come to the Council with proposals asking for the Council to give direction and feedback on several issues. Some of that includes which bond issue or which projects you wish to pursue, how we would go about doing that, the amount of the issue, so on and so forth. So that will be forthcoming. One of the things we do to prepare for a bond issue, you have to have certain legal things that need to be met. So we hire a bond counsel, an attorney who is specialized in the issuance of municipal debt. We are utilizing Danielle Quaid from Hawley Troxel in Coeur d'Alene. Danielle has helped us with our last two bond issues, one of which was a refinance of sewer bonds back in 2010, or 11, excuse me. So we have experience with her, so we will be utilizing her services. The second professional that we need to employ is a financial advisor. And a financial advisor covers a lot of the same things, the nuances and preparation, reporting, calculations, scenarios, all of those sorts of things for a issuance of general obligation debt. So we did an informal solicitation of qualifications. They were sent out to three known folks who do this sort of thing: Piper Jaffray in Boise, Zions Bank, and Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo decided that they did not want to participate because they have hopes that they might be able to help us with the financing part. And if you are acting as a financial advisor, you cannot act as the underwriter as well. So they were more interested in hopefully proposing some financing at the end of the process. We considered the two from Zions and Piper Jaffray. We put together 5 people to assist with that, 2 of whom, as noted in the CCSR, have been on the issuance side of public debt on behalf of Lewis Clark State College and University of Idaho. Brian Foisey, who's the Vice President for Finance at the U of I, and Ron Smith, who is Special Assistant to the President for Lewis Clark State College. At the end of that, it was determined that Eric Herringer at Piper Jaffray was the selected person for the process. Piper Jaffray has assisted us in the past. They helped with that reissuance of sewer bonds, the refinancing of that, and they have experience in multi-project bond issues, which was something that we were very impressed by. One of the things that we will look at when putting together a proposal for City Council consideration is when you have a single project bond issue, it's very easy to put out public information on that. When you have a multi-project bond issue, it essentially, in this case, will perhaps quintuple the amount of effort in order to get enough information out on each of these projects. So we're looking for some advice as well as to is this a good idea? What are the chances that we will be successful? Are there things, techniques we can employ to try and give us a better chance? And finally, to run the scenarios, the financial scenarios. Everybody asks, if I have a $225,000 home, what is the tax burden going to be on me if this election goes through? He will assist us in doing that. Also assist us in determining which is the best financing vehicle, whether it is a single purchase such as a loan from a bank, or is it the issuance of bonds to the market where you actually sell bonds in the open market. So those services will be provided by Piper Jaffray should we get the council's approval tonight. You'll see that the contract is included in your packet. That contract and pricing in the market is just about the same for each of them. It's $20,000 is the minimum charge, $2 per thousand of issuance. With a top end of $60,000, we don't intend on going for a $30 million bond issue, so that isn't a concern. However, it is contingent upon the successful issuance of the debt. So if we are unsuccessful, then we do not pay that money. So what we're asking is for the council to approve the agreement, and we will move forward. I do have a preliminary meeting with both bond counsel and the financial advisor at the end of next week. So we didn't have a chance to get this through committee and get it to council in time for us to move that forward. So that's why it's coming to you tonight with the 5th Monday in October. It created a logistical issue, so I asked the mayor for authority to come directly to you, and that's why you're seeing it for the first time in your packet tonight.
Okay, Gary, one of the things, a couple of things from my point of view that, of course, are important is that the public will want to know is, number one, what are we going to use the money for and defining that? We've talked about that amongst ourselves, and of course, as we get that out, and you touched on this a little bit, exactly what is it going to cost me for, if I have a $200,000 house, $250,000 house, $300,000 house, what can I expect to be paying per year? And I think those are the two most important things that people are going to be asking, that we're going to be having to talk about, because that's what people are concerned with. If they know that we're doing this for the things that we need as part of our infrastructure and building our infrastructure and maintaining the things that we need to maintain, whether it be the streets and the fire department and the police station, so on and so forth, I think people get that. But I'll leave it open for questions for Gary. Well, Catherine?
My question is, you know how we have the strategic, plan of the things we're supposed to do, but I think sometimes there's, along the line of what the mayor's saying, that people will think there's this bond election, so you've had this big list, can we kind of pick the things that we want? And so are we going to offer, like, we think we can get these things done through this bond because? Is that what
There will be a very large element of public information. The selection of the particular projects to be addressed in a potential bond issue were selected by the city council as we provided information. And again, the direction was flesh this out, show us what it looks like, bring it back, and at that time we will determine, council will determine which ones to proceed with. So a lot of it is logistical as well. For instance, the police station is a standalone building. The police are the only ones in that building, so that provides us certain things we can do. As you also know, there was a consideration of a public works building on our current city shop site, which is a much larger issue. It serves, I believe, 3 or 4 different departments, including one outside of Public Works. That would be Parks and Rec shop. So it's a much bigger deal. So putting that together in time, although we are developing, and there had always been plans to develop a scoping and estimate on that, that is, we will bring it forward, but it'll probably be something that the council decides maybe this is something we need to address in a different way. Haven't considered that yet, but we're bringing all options forward. But there are a lot of moving parts to it, as you know from reading the Water and Sewer Comprehensive Plan, the city's facilities plan, Parks and Rec master plan. We can use probably $500 million and not address all of the issues that if we were going to replace all the aging sewer infrastructure, develop all the parks, resurface all the roads, so on and so forth. So we also have to look at it from the perspective of what is the most bang we can get for our buck. If we have limited amount of funds and we apply them in a very systematic fashion, how can we make the largest impact on those major challenge areas? And that's what we've tried to address in this case.
As we're going along, too, just to be noted, there's got to be a starting point for something, and this is our starting point. And as we're going along, as I see it, these things are going to be kind of an ongoing thing, Catherine, as we go through. If we get our 10-year bond passed, 8 years down the road, we'll be looking at another one, or the next council, whoever, and it's all about infrastructure and maintaining our city, where we're going. And I think that's going to have to be an ongoing thing from now until whenever.
Yeah, if I may. Also, there are, as you know, having been through the budget process, there are significant, fairly unique challenges in Moscow because of the fact that so much of the property is tax exempt, that we're unable to accumulate a lot of capital in any one time to go ahead and do these big projects. So that's also part of the public education process, that we'll be able to lay out why it has to happen, and hopefully the community will look at it and say, yeah, we do need to address these issues, and we need to support this project.
Yeah, and I know you thought about that. I guess it's because there's so much internal infrastructure on the city side, the citizens only get to see the streets, right? They only get to.
Well, unless they go to jail.
That whole thing of they don't get the. They always think, well, they're just taking care of themselves. That's the hardest thing in trying to have them see that the infrastructure piece actually takes care of them.
You bet.
And I know you've considered that, but it's sometimes a difficult one to explain.
It is, and that's why we've put some of our best people on the public information piece of it.
Walter?
Thank you, Mayor. Gary, compensation, I'm reading from the agreement, is contingent on the size of the bond. We get that, $2 per thousand of the par amount. But then it goes on to say, and contingent on closing.
Yes.
If the bond doesn't pass, or we cannot place it once it's passed, they don't get paid?
Exactly.
Why would they agree to that?
Because they have a pretty good success rate, and they understand that.
I could give you a personal comment, but I won't go there.
Walter, it's interesting. Both of the firms that we solicited had the same, I didn't see the other firm's contract, but it was the same basic, and that is that they get paid contingent upon the successful bond issue.
Okay.
That's a good deal for us at the city of Moscow.
Gary, I have to make one other comment, if I might. You're right. We have a fairly large amount of untaxed property in Moscow. However, if we didn't, we probably wouldn't have a town over about 5,000 people, and it'd be another farm town on the Palouse.
Precisely.
So there's value in untaxed property in Moscow.
Absolutely. Don't mean to say there isn't. It just creates some fiscal challenges.
John, did you have a?
Well, I just would make a motion that we approve financial services agreement with Piper Jaffray to provide financial advisor services for the proposed bond election.
I would second that.
Okay, I'll give Jim the second. John made a motion with Jim's second to approve the financial services agreement with Piper Jaffray to provide financial advisor services for the proposed bond election. I'll start the roll with Walter.
Aye.
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 All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, well, we've got direction there,
Thank you.
Gary. Very good. Next thing on the order is strategic plan updates, and Jen Piffner will be, and
Yes,
Gary
I'm
will
just
be
here to
doing-
introduce the subject, Your Honor.
Okay.
Jen's been working hard. As you know, you've all been through the strategic planning process with us. As I mentioned very quickly, and she will reiterate, it was pretty systematic. It was a long process, and we promised to come back and inform you where we were with those things. As you'll see from Jen's presentation, we've had very good success in a lot of areas. Some areas are lagging behind the schedules that we'd originally moved forward. reasons for that are the same that those occur in folks' lives, and that is you have issues come forward that take time, we have limited staff resources, so on and so forth. So in some of these, you'll see revised timelines and explanations